Howdy, everyone. Let's call this meeting to order. The McLennan County Rural Transit District Board of Directors. Today's Thursday, November the 13th, 2025. It's 4 p.m. Proof of posting, please. Well, it was posted on Friday, November the 7th, 2025 at 2:50 p.m. All right, do a quick roll call right quick for the voting members. I'm here. Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Councilman Holmes? Mayor Holmes, Councilman Borderud, Jason Blanick,
Here.
Rick Wayworth,
Here.
David Pratka,
Here.
Sherry Adams,
Here.
Trevor.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. Okay, it's going to be kind of a short meeting. Under B is a consideration and/or action. The following items: approval of the minutes from the prior meeting. The minutes were from Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 is out there. Is there any additions or corrections? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So move. Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. All right, operations report. So who goes next? This is ridership and trend presentation.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge Felton. Good afternoon, all. We're going to just kind of, what I put in front of each and every one of you at your seat is a chart. This is just going to show you specifically the ridership numbers from 2020 when COVID came in. So that way you would have it as a quick reference against the numbers that show on the presentation, because I'll have all the numbers from 2015 through 2025. And then I'll just hit some points that may have impacted those numbers at that time. And then we'll just kind of go through it because we've all seen these numbers. I just wanted to bring it to this meeting so everybody could kind of know we've got some new members, you know, just our trajectory of service and how we are bouncing back from COVID. Next slide, please. Just so everybody knows, that's our entire service area of McLennan County, and we also provide service to the adjacent counties. So I just kind of wanted everybody to see what we're doing. I know you all already know this, but just as a quick visual. Next slide, please. So we began our McLennan County Rural Transit District in July 1st of 2015. And so these numbers are pulled from our PTN 128. It is a document that we submit to TxDOT each year that shows our ridership trends. It's where we get our funding from. But I do want to make note that 2015 and 2016 and 2017, those start with September because that's how the PTN generally runs. But the following month, they'll run like September to August. That's that following September, just so y'all can follow it on the chart. But when you start seeing the numbers that are going October through September, that's the actual fiscal year. And I changed that further in because the data just wasn't going to align the same, and I want to give you comparisons. And once we go through the presentation, you will see a chart that'll have like the percent of difference so that you guys will have that as a quick reference point as well. And so Again, we began this service July 1st of 2015. You see in 2016, we were still just focusing on demand response services, just when people call from the general public, they utilize the service. We didn't have any contracted services. We didn't go after any additional funds like 5310, which is elderly and disabled, that we're able to provide contracted service with Central Texas Senior Ministries. We weren't doing any of that, just strictly picking up general public where there was a gap in service. So you see in 2017, around May, we had went out, we sought some additional partnerships. We worked with the parole, went out, did some telling the story, set up some routes that would take people out there. We also started a Medicaid contract. Medicaid has a process. You have to apply to be a contractor. You have to go out and negotiate your different contracted rates for those trips. And so again, it's not based off of us seeking out the trips. It's trips that are allocated to us based off of a contracted service. If someone has a lower rate, they may get those trips. But public transit generally is the one that they'll utilize for those services because we have the vehicles, the accessible vehicles. And so I just kind of wanted you all to know that in 2017, that's when we started picking up that service delivery. Next slide, please. All right, so here we can see 2018, we were trending great. We had all the services. We had about, 35,000 trips. You see the 2018 totals. Those would be the totals for each individual line like we reviewed. 19, we were trending, came down just a little bit, but, we were still doing well. And then you see 2020 is when COVID came. So, and actually April was when the FTA declared it an emergency for transit, but we were still an essential service. And so we were providing services out to McGregor for a call center. And so at that time, those services stopped being needed. And so that's when you'll see that C3 McGregor number stopped and it never picked back up. And so, but those services, as we've discussed at other board meetings, were still being provided under
And y'all, when is that?
It's going on right now. It's the Rural Coordinating Council, the coordinating council that we have to do every
Right.
5 years. They're going through that whole process again.
When, in the report, are they going over it next week? Yeah. Is it?
It's the regional,
Coordinating committee.
yeah, but it's the regional planning study or something like that.
Moore and Associates or
Yeah.
somebody
Yes.
like that, yeah. So how's that, we learn anything out of that that affects us, or?
So basically, what they're doing is trying to look at what can we do regionally to better connect our services. And so the survey that they put out was trying to see how many individual providers are out here, not just doing public transit, but maybe like MHMR, anyone who has any type of transit, to see how we might better connect. They'll take all that information after they analyze it, bring it back. We'll do like a timetable of what we can do to kind of implement the strategies that the people in the group believe we can to kind of meet that service gap. And then from there, they get the funding, and then it'll be another 5 years, we'll discuss it again. So it's,
Are you going to those meetings?
yes, sir. I go, or either Jana if we have a conflict.
Okay, good.
So we go.
Yeah, we're in attendance. And then I attend the webinar, the virtual ones with the third party to just kind of hear their feedback to Hot Cop.
Is there one tomorrow?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. I think they're on Tuesdays
Tuesday,
typically.
I think next
Okay.
week.
Next week, Tuesday?
You and I should have we got
Oh, no, there is one tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Is that statewide or is that?
no, that's with the associates. You're correct.
So there is or isn't?
There is one tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Zoom.
So you will listen in and
Yeah, I listen into all of them.
let us know if there's any.
Oh, Josh, we need. Let's see, you can sit right there or right over there. Oh, you got a chair right there.
Okay.
I didn't see that chair. So do you know of any discussion about, they might have about trying to put us back together again?
I don't believe they're trying to discuss us being put back together. I think they're trying to identify how they may be able to meet the gap that's created from the changes. But they pay a higher indirect cost so it limits their service. And so where we could augment that, they're just trying to figure out a more cost-effective way for them to provide service. Rep had reached out to ask me if we wanted to take over their advertising and they get a revenue, and I told them we have no desire to advertise on your vehicles because we can get our own advertising revenues across the board. And he said, well, y'all can get a small fee. The work behind it is a lot more than a small fee, but they're looking at ways to increase revenues, and
Yeah.
we're doing the best we can to stay cost effective and manage our own services.
Right.
So,
Okay. All right, thank you.
yes, sir.
Is it back working again?
Yes.
Oh, we're up? All right, next slide, please. Guess not.
There it is.
All right. All right, and so 2021, you see where the numbers went down. You still see C3 was down. One thing about this is 22, we're starting to trend a little better. We've had those discussions. I pulled C3 out, just didn't put the 0 in 2023. And again, if y'all want to cross-reference the COVID numbers, they are on this printout that I sat next to you.
Do you want to get that?
Oh, you get one of them, yeah. Next slide, please. We went over these at our last board meeting, which would have been 2024 and 2025. And again, that was the demand response side of the service delivery. And so now we're gonna go kind of look at the commuter route. Next slide. Okay, well, this is it was so busy to put those, all those years in there. So the blue one would be the demand response. As y'all saw over the entire 10-year time frame, you'll see how demand response at the top, and then you just see how they all trend differently. But I wanted you to be able to see it on a bar, but it was so busy, so I felt like it was best to kind of give you the individual numbers as well. But this is here just to kind of see. All right, next slide. All right, so when it comes down to commuter routes, I wanted to make sure that we kind of broke those out differently. And these are the ones that we've had the changes we lost, Falls County. We were, providing that commuter service. That change happened in,
October 2023.
C3 was April of 2020. We talked about that. That would be part of the other ones. And then Fall County, again, was October 2023, which would have impacted all those numbers after 2023. We were doing a commuter route that went to Mart and then went to Marlin. And the judge asked us not to go into Falls anymore. You'll see where those numbers trended down. And so that percent of difference to the side will show you the percent of change from the year prior. So with the commuter, you'll see how it trended down. It looks like in 2022, the last number will always be the number from the year prior. So you'll see where that was a 10% increase from that year prior. And then you'll see where there was went down 30%, 13%. And then this past year, we went up, we gained some ridership to 11%, but we will be looking at a service extension program that we're looking at, and I'll bring you some data points on that once it kicks off, and that's to go to China Spring, McGregor, and Mart. And we're looking at being able to make sure people can get to the Amtrak station. And so I have all those visuals laid out and be able to provide y'all some initial data points on that, because our initial layout for the service expansion wasn't picking up any riders, so we went out to TxDOT to see if we could realign that, because we want to make sure that we're not just running dead routes. We want to make sure that we go out and we find where the people need to go, and that's when we reached out to the school districts to see maybe where students could utilize the service to come into Waco, go out, maybe for jobs. This service would be throughout the summer as well. So we're getting in, talking to those counselors, putting in flyers so that once this launches, we hope that we get a good buy-in from the community, all those 3 communities, and we've been talking to their community organizations about this as well. We opted not to do a mail-out. Last time we did a mail-out for the service expansion program. We got feedback that says, yeah, it's great, we'll participate, but then when it comes down to actually boots on the ground per se, we didn't get a lot of take on the service. And so we wanted to make sure we rerouted it according to where ridership potentially could be. And so I'll get some data points for that on y'all probably at January, because that'll give us November, December, just to show you some trends.
If you could maybe get with us on the council, kind of let us know what we can do to kind of help push it out as well.
Okay. And my hope is that I'll be able to go back out and do some more talks at the, at different,
Communities.
like we did last year, but, I did bring some information, so I'll give that to y'all, I think, yeah. Next slide, please. And then this shows you just the commuter from a bar graph perspective, and those were total ridership for commuter. So, by the way, you can see that. Next slide. Questions?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
We all know we don't go to Falls County anymore, but when I go down Highway 6, and I go down it a lot, at the dialysis place there in Marlin, I see our bus there. How does that work?
Medicaid.
So if the trip originates in McLennan County and the Medicaid trip is for dialysis, then the provider would give us that trip. And with medical, you have the right to choose whichever doctor you want to go to.
Right.
So if they live in McLennan County and they want to go to the dialysis center in Marlin, maybe that's where they've gone, then we can still provide that service. The trip just has to originate in McLennan County somewhere for our vehicle to be transported.
How do they get back?
We take them, because it originated in our county.
It'd
So,
be a round trip? Do they
Yes,
just
sir.
wait, or do they go do something and come back?
oh no, we have other trips. We'll go provide, dialysis usually runs about 4.5 hours.
Okay.
And so, we gauge that up, and the social workers will set those times up based off of their general run time. Some run longer, some run shorter, and we'll set those up under subscription service, and then we
You go
provide.
back?
Yes,
Back
sir.
to pick them up?
Yes, sir.
You have something else? I just, since it started, sounded like this program started in 16, 15?
15.
It's,
And so 16 was the biggest year.
That's the first year,
the
the first
year,
full year.
Full year. 17 was good, and if you can go back to the chart, I think two back. I'm looking at one more, yeah, there you go. No, forward one, yeah.
commuter.
Okay, it's just commuter though.
This
Yeah,
is,
the commuter route is, I mean, it's, because the on-demand's a little bit different, but from the numbers we have here, from 18 down to current, that's like 65% drop in ridership. Is this, and it can't all be COVID.
well, what happened?
I know that was a huge impact, but what else is impacting it to have a ridership drop by that much?
Well, we provided service Monday through Saturday, and we provided service into Marlin all. They had a lot of people coming in. And so when we lost that Marlin ridership, and they did not pick it up,
It cut in half.
it just cut us in half for service.
A lot of students were coming in from Marlin to go to TSDC and MCC. Like, it was a pretty significant opportunity for them to get higher education. And so when that got cut, that was a large portion of the
Why was
strike.
that cut?
The Falls County is not our county, and so as long as, the judge was okay with us going in, then there was an issue, but then he asked us not to go in.
Falls County judge cut it.
Okay.
He wasn't smart, but
We wanted to give the hot cog the opportunity
And they
to get
didn't.
ridership.
they didn't pick it up.
No, they didn't pick it up. They just have no service now.
Hot cog doesn't go there now?
Well,
They
like
cut-
2 days, maybe a day a week.
They have very limited.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is that something that needs to be revisited?
We
Is it
can't.
worth the,
We can't,
can't do
because it
anything
doesn't,
with it.
like,
Same judge or different judge?
Same
outside
judge.
McLennan County.
Same
Same
judge?
judge is there.
okay. Well, it just, you can see the numbers just plummet
Yeah.
from 21,000 or more to down to 7.
We were invited to Marlin high school every year, like multiple times to do, like presentations on how to ride the bus and everything and travel training. Because those students, a lot of them, that's the only way they can get a higher education was the
Right.
bus. And so we lost a significant amount of ridership because of that.
So you're saying all of that drop is from Marlin, or is there something else that's
That's a
missing from
significant part of
getting
it.
people on the bus? I mean, I know Uber and Lyft and all that sort of ramped up, especially in the last few years. Is
Well, that,
that significant an impact on the ridership?
we didn't change our commuter route other than just removing that one
Leg.
leg of it. And so those people that were coming in every day, they're coming in, it counts as a trip. They going back out, it counts as a trip.
Right.
So, and then on Saturdays, they would come in and they're here all day. We have a lot of people that were coming in on Saturdays, because they're shopping or doing whatever. And so we did not, again, change any design elements other
Just
than
eliminated the one.
that one stop.
So how much of this ridership is down on same route numbers? If you didn't change any other routes other than losing Marlin, how much is the ridership down on the existing routes that are still
Well,
going?
it's up actually compared to last year. It's up a little bit.
Yeah, so if
Well,
you,
I realize,
Oh.
I understand that, but I'm saying it just kind of fell off the cliff if you go back to 18 and 19.
I
and
think
now.
it was a gap in service was the reason why they went after McLennan County Rural Transit District to be independent anyway. And so I think when they created this and it took over the gap, then those people all of a sudden had service that didn't have any service because again, the COG didn't provide anything to the level that McLennan County did.
Okay.
And so we had this big high level of service, you had people riding it, and then all of a sudden you have COVID that comes in play, and then you have the judge that tells us we can't come back into it, and then people just have to find a different way if you don't have a dependable service. And so they were calling us, but we can't pulse in and get them. So at that point, they just start finding other options. And
And then after COVID, there's still a lot of people that are remote. I mean, that makes a significant difference versus having to actually show up and work.
remote workers.
Do y'all have a separate data set of isolating the Falls County trips, or was that kept separately so you can look at it, or no?
No.
No, it's just run as a commuter route ridership. space, so we just don't have that technology to get that granular in a per trip
Are we
type
doing
setting.
anything different, in 17, 18, 19 than we are now as far as finding riders? Or is it, I mean, I know the app has been recent and that ought to make it a lot easier. Cause everybody's got a phone, doesn't matter their economic status or whatever. Are we doing anything that's significantly different to attract riders today? Or not doing things today that we were doing then?
I don't believe so. She wasn't here in that time. I don't.
Just asking 'cause-
No, I
because-
don't believe so. I mean, our
It's a
fares are still the
significant drop
same.
in ridership, and so there's something's
Well, I think when there
off.
was no service, and then all of a sudden you get a high level of service, and you have all these people who couldn't get into Waco at all. Now all of a sudden you have this availability Monday through Saturday to come into the town, so, they're all riding.
And the whole family probably. I mean,
Yeah, but they're not today, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
no, because we
So-
can't go into that area.
Right, but that's just one route, that's not the whole thing, and so the ridership across the board has gotta be down for the numbers to be impacted this significantly.
Yeah, we still, I mean, each year we still go out and do our promotions at the schools. We still, go out and actually we did a door-to-door to, housing complexes that are low-income housing complexes. We've gone out to the community centers, we've talked to the elderly and disabled groups. I mean, we've gone out to any type of homes. I mean, I can provide you like a monthly marketing thing that we do.
No, I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find there's,
Yeah,
something's gotta move for the ridership to come back up.
Yeah, it's a combination of things, I believe, but, the general demand, I guess since COVID is dropped. The people look for different ways of, doing things now, but, if you take that, the general demand dropping off, and then a whole block of service just falling out because the judge wouldn't allow it. I think it's a combination of things. It's, one's real easy and obvious to see.
Right.
And the other is just a general drop. I mean, is that,
yeah, I believe that's.
Because if you look at our sets of numbers, like if you start looking, we ran about the same 400, 500, 600 trips. I mean, that's us, just sustaining who we are.
Right.
And so and if you look above that at those higher numbers, that's when we had, Marlin as part of it.
Okay.
And then when we started just being, just our own commuter, separate of that, I mean, you see.
Within the county,
Now, we're running.
pretty consistent.
so just to kind of give you a background, since you've been on, I don't know that I've stated this, I've done it a couple times since we started, but, Commissioner Jones and myself, both, noticed working with, former Mayor, Malcolm Duncan and studying the numbers. The Heart of Texas Council of Governments, there's 6 counties in it. And we were getting a disproportionate amount of, return off our investment. In other words, we have the population, we're the net provider of jobs, we're the net provider of medical services, all those things. But yet, they were moving most of the resources and activity outside to the smaller counties. And so we said, you need to get that money back to us, or we've got a pro rata amount of expenditures per population. Because it's, we create a higher demand and a higher return by doing it. And they wouldn't do it. So we went to TxDOT and said, they're taking our, the credit they get on the amount of money that we have, and they're using it in other counties. And they said, yeah, we see that. We can allocate your money directly to you, the full amount. And so I begged them to reconsider. I said, if you can give me a good reason why we shouldn't separate, then we'll take it under consideration. And they never could. They were just pissed off and mad. And before we even pulled it. So finally, we pulled the trigger and separated our money and started operating independently, which was working real well. And it was really helping the surrounding counties, especially Falls County. And then after a couple of years, the Falls County judge just, he's still mad about it. All the judges got together and had a rump roast, and it's my rump they were roasted. And so he was still mad about it. And so he just cut off the service despite the amount of help that his citizens were getting, just out of spite. And so, I figured at some point they would recognize what they did to themselves and repair that. But probably at some point, we need to look at going back to them and.
Well, that's what I was gonna wonder, if that's the case, is it been long enough that somebody needs to reach out to the
I don't think it's
Falls
been long
County?
enough.
I see him every month.
That was 2023, and it wasn't a good
I see him every month.
interaction.
Okay.
So-
Still the judge.
Yeah, and he goes to the regional coordinating
Yeah,
meetings.
yeah.
So he's in attendance. He's still around.
I mean, I quit going to those meetings because of him, because it was just
Yeah.
I'd say something and I actually brought up, well, what about using, Waco Transit to, to contract like we do in the rural, and I went over like a lead balloon, so.
Just like they thought we were taking their trips under the Medicaid contract, which is a contracted service, and you have to be credentialed, and you have to go through a whole process legal, and so they thought we were taking that, and they didn't even go through the process in order to receive Medicaid trips. And so I told them, and he said, well, I just don't want you in our area. And I said, that's not about choice. That is a contracted service, and that's on that third party that contracts us out. And without us being in there, your providers can't provide those services. So they would have no transportation.
I really feel as though we are very well served with this, the setup that we have right now. And unfortunately, it's probably going to change with our next census. This was born out of the 2010 census. And it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think we're right now, when Scott and I first started looking at this in 2015 or 14 or 15, there were people that could not be served by Hot Cog because the urban area of Waco had changed, and so they couldn't go into the urban area of some urban areas. Now this can go, this service can go anywhere it needs to go. And I think it.
And that's what I'm still struggling with is that's the case. We've got the coverage and the service and the on-demand and the routes and
Right.
like, why is the ridership stay so far down?
I think things that just have really changed since since COVID. Lots of people work from home. Then there's the Ubers and the Lyfts of the world that have seem to, people think that's better. I don't know, stuff like that.
I mean, other than just scheduling.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how, because.
But for someone who's maybe on a fixed income or something like this,
Medicaid.
this Medicaid, different, I think we are maximizing our dollars that we get, the federal dollars that we get, and we've not expended one dime of county dollars.
We don't ask the county.
Yeah,
There's
No,
no,
I mean, that's
there's
great.
been
I
no
think it's phenomenal.
supplement.
We don't
put any.
Stuck on like, why aren't they taking advantage of these programs? Because it's there and it seems to be super easy.
It's not as convenient as Uber or Lyft, like he said. I mean, we're not like, you
Right
might
there.
have to wait a little bit.
It's a shared ride service.
Yeah, and so that isn't as appealing as you would.
But $3.48.
But
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, I had a girl working for me for a while, and she worked at our Hewitt store, and she lived in China Spring, and she Ubered each way. And I'm asked it out, I'm like, by the time you do that, you spend half your pay to get here and there. I was like, you can get this ride, it's $3. Oh, I don't want to do that.
It's choice,
It's all choice.
It's all
Yeah.
choice, and this is You want it, they want it quick, they want it fast, and
They
they
want
want
it
it immediate.
now.
And so with what we do, it's a shared ride concept. There's a,
A little
it's
bit
a
of
way.
planning to schedule.
It's not just pick the phone and, you've got DoorDash at your door.
Yeah.
It's actually, a service, so.
Right.
they'll
Kind
deal
of the
with
way
that
I
dynamic.
feel about it is until something else changes, I mean, I better not say this since this is a recording deal, but, elections have consequences. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. And, I don't vote in Falls County. So, forget that, concentrate on McLennan County.
Yeah.
Try to get the word out and
Right.
be sure that there's no reason why someone doesn't know that this is provided to them. And so we've been, different approaches,
Yeah.
on that, and we continue to try that. And I think, Trevor, like you said, get the word out in the MART area.
No, we've gone, we'll talk to your boards, we can
Any
be better to
opportunity.
council, we'll talk to,
We've gone to Kiwanis
Kiwanis.
and West. We've gone to, we've gone to so many varieties of meetings and committees and organizations, and we'll show up. You just gotta let us know if it's something that's not on a calendar.
I sent a blast email out one time to just all of the different organizations that are within our service area, just to reach out with our flyers, things that they can reach out to us. Our mobility coordinator, she goes out to all of the cities that we service, just trying to figure out who's there.
She put
where's
magnets
their-
on apartment, like low-income apartments.
Yeah, we have
knocks.
magnets, we do everything just to try to let people know. And a lot of times that once one person knows, word of mouth with the population that needs it, it'll spread. But it's just like identifying them and just, being dependable. Knowing that they got a service they can depend on, and after that's established. And I think that is part of the reason why you can see we're at least trying to sustain
It's stable,
ourselves.
and then I can appreciate that, it's very stable, it just feels like there's a lot of work going into this that.
Oh, it's a lot of work, but
We ought to
it
be
does
building
good.
We ought to be building should be more people.
We're
I don't know how to make it more people, yeah, okay.
Any other questions on ridership trends?
No, I don't think so, but, I guess, as you can see, the focus now is on, what we can do to, and you've been doing it, but maybe just, next meeting or so, kind of focus really on what activities you're doing to try to get more ridership. I mean, you're doing it, just tell us about it so we'll know. All right, if there's no other questions about that, is there a motion to accept the ridership, trends, presentation?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, second, any other discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass. D, under financial report, so, Jana?
We don't actually have a financial report because there's been no
That's right.
change from the last one I provided, and because the city hasn't closed out the year yet, so they haven't finalized fiscal year 25. But I did want to let y'all know of one progress we have. We were awarded a discretionary 5339 grant, which is bus and bus facilities, so that's how we purchase our vehicles. It typically takes multiple years to be able to purchase one, but this isn't like based off our formula, so that's not based off your current fleet or your land mass or ridership. This was additional funding that we went after. We were awarded $117,751, and we are purchasing a vehicle off the Oklahoma State Buy Board for $117,638. So we're saving we'll have $113 left on the grant.
All right,
Hey, we have to get that down.
Yeah,
Get enough gas to get it back.
well, actually, we don't have to pay for that one. They'll deliver it. But based on the, independent cost estimate and, it's a good and fair value because it was around 138 is what it is about the average based on last year's procurement cost. And so it's coming in a little bit lower, which we're really excited about. But yeah, we saved $113 on this grant. So we'll probably get some stickers or something. But I just want to let y'all know, it'll be delivered by December.
Little bus,
Yeah, the little vans, yes, sir.
little van.
Yes, sir. We generally do the accessible vehicles, the smaller ones for, the service that we provide, just more, more sturdy. You know, so.
It's the paratransit, yeah. So, but yeah, it will be delivered by the end of the year. So I just want to let y'all know that there's movement on that, and we were awarded an additional grant for vehicles, so.
Yeah, I try to go after any type of discretionary funding, anything that we can, and we have the local match that we've generated so that we don't have to, request any additional service from the board, any funding. So discretionary funds, you got to be real creative, you got to write them creatively, and you really have to tell the story as to how it's going to enhance what we do. And so any discretionary funds for McLennan County that come available, even if it's for, digital marketing, whatever, I'm always going to apply for those grants, especially if there's no cost to the board, but there's an enhancement that we can receive, so.
Good,
So,
good deal, thank you.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
All right, you mentioned grants, and that was part of what we would go over any grant applications or certifications, and you just reported on that. Not anything else on that?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, this is our last meeting for the year, and here in the next few weeks, we'll be sending out the dates for the 2026 meetings. So anything else to come before the group? Appreciate everyone coming, good attendance. Councilman Bordereau, we're not handing out tardy slips for.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Well, we always know the city's gonna be just slightly late.
Well, and I don't want to blame it on the county, but I was in one of our fine district courts that went a little late.
Well, if it's a district court. All right, nothing else, we stand adjourned.
Thank you.